Well, hello, fellow philosopher. I'm so happy to be here with you. But I've got a question for you. Have you ever said yes when you really wanted to say no? You said, it's fine. And somewhere along the way, you started expecting people to understand the no you never actually said. And then later you felt angry. And not just at them. You were angry with everyone. That's when a quiet compromise can turn into resentment. And the strange part is, they may not even know what they did wrong. I want to share an important secret with you. It's one you probably already know, but don't want to face. Your resentment is rarely caused by the actions of the terrible people around you. That's it. Those other people, they're not taking your peace. You're giving it away. By the end of this video, I will give you a simple way to understand your resentment in one honest sentence that can begin to release it and help you find peace. Most people think that peace means never feeling angry. They believe a calm person should always be patient, understanding, and available. But that's not peace. That's just silence wearing a peaceful disguise. Because you look calm on the outside while quietly keeping score inside. What are you keeping score of? Wait. What are you keeping score of? That's a song. Late 70s. What was the line? You can't have love if you're still keeping score. Late 70s. I remember that because I was newly married and trying to figure out this whole husband thing. And I heard that line and I thought, that's something important. That's something I have to remember. But what was the song? Sugar Mama. I think Bonnie Raitt sang it. You can't have love while you're still keeping score. Wow, that's a flashback. Great song. If you don't know it, look it up. Sugar Mama. Well, actually, I'll probably edit this out, but we'll see. It really is a good song. Check it out. Check it out. Okay, back to resentment. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah. What are you keeping score of? You think I helped them. They didn't help me. I listened to them. They never listened to me. I said yes. They expected me to say it again. That's keeping score. And slowly your heart becomes heavy. Not because of one big thing, but because of many small moments you never talked about. The score keeps going up. But here's the deal. Way before modern psychology existed, and before Bonnie Raitt sang Sugar Mama, ancient philosophers were already warning people about this exact problem. The Stoics got it. We cannot control other people's thoughts, but we can control our own words, our own actions, and the boundaries we are willing to protect. So what is resentment, really? One definition is resentment is the anger that has been made to wait. Most of the time it means you have abandoned your own feelings for far too long. You feel hurt, but you do not say anything. You feel tired, but you keep helping. You feel uncomfortable, but you smile. Then the feeling waits, and waits, and waits, until a small problem suddenly feels enormous. And you know that one. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. Someone forgets to thank you, interrupts you, or asks you for one more favor, and you think, how could they do this to me again? But the real problem began long ago. It began when you said yes, while your heart was saying no. Maybe you know the feeling. Someone asks you to do something on a Saturday when you're exhausted, but you say yes. They don't force you. You don't even tell them that you're upset. But 3 Saturdays later, when they ask again, you're thinking, do they seriously expect me to keep doing this over and over? Now, I'm not saying that every person who hurts you is innocent. Some people are careless, selfish, or they just take advantage of kindness. But other people, I would actually say most people, simply don't know what you need. They can't read your mind. And if you keep saying it's fine, they might actually be silly enough to believe you. Imagine carrying a small box in your hand, and every time you feel upset, but say nothing, You place a small stone inside. At first, the box is easy to carry, but after a while, it becomes, well, heavy. So you should start blaming other people for the weight? The very people whose only mistake was believing you when you said, "Oh, it's fine. Happy to do it." The Stoics taught that peace comes from separating what belongs to us from what does not. You cannot control whether someone appreciates your help, whether they understand your feelings immediately, whether they become upset when you finally speak honestly. But you can control whether you continue pretending. You can control whether you explain yourself. You can control whether you keep offering to do something that's hurting you. This is where people sometimes misunderstand Stoicism. Stoicism does not mean becoming cold and never needing anyone. The Stoics were saying, do not hand your inner peace completely to others and their behavior. You can be kind without being endlessly available. You can forgive someone without giving them unlimited access to you. You can love someone and still say, I cannot keep doing this. That's not cruelty. It's clarity. Now there's something I call the invisible bargain. You are probably a good person. Most of us are. And you wouldn't be watching this video if you weren't. But we need to take a short look at a darker side that can cause resentment. Resentment often grows from the invisible bargain. You do something for someone, but you don't explain what you need in return. You think, if I'm always there for them, they'll be there for me. If I stay quiet, they will notice that I'm hurt. And if I keep giving, they will eventually understand my value. But people often don't understand the bargains we never speak aloud. This is painful because you have actually been generous. You may have sacrificed. You may have tried very hard to be good. But sometimes kindness can be used to secure purchase of love, gratitude, or approval. A gift is not truly free if you become angry when the other person does not repay it in the exact way that you imagined. So ask yourself gently, was I giving freely, or was I hoping they would finally give me something that I was afraid to ask for? Attention, respect, help, reassurance? Sometimes resentment is not asking you to become less kind. It's asking you to become more honest. Let's do a little experiment. After all, philosophy is just a bunch of words if you don't put it into practical use. Think of one situation where you feel resentful. Not the biggest situation in your life. Choose something small enough to look at calmly. Maybe you keep helping someone who never helps you. Maybe you always listen, but no one asks how you are doing. Maybe you agree to plans when you really need a rest. Maybe someone speaks to you disrespectfully, and you pretend it doesn't matter. Now complete the sentence. Even though I want to say no, I keep saying yes to... Complete the sentence. Go ahead and pause the video if you need some time. I'm going to take a quick 10-second coffee break, so take your time. Okay, let's get started. Now that you have one situation firmly in your mind, and I am truly sorry about that because feeling resentful can be so uncomfortable. But now ask yourself 3 questions. First, what am I feeling but refusing to say? Second, what am I expecting this person to understand without telling them? And third, what would a clear, respectful boundary sound like? Now to that one, don't write an angry speech. Don't prepare a punishment. Just find the honest sentence hiding beneath the resentment. Create a boundary, not a punishment. A boundary is not a threat or a punishment. A boundary tells someone what you will do to protect your time, energy, or your dignity. Punishment says, I want you to suffer because you hurt me. A boundary says, I'm not going to participate anymore in something that keeps hurting me. Here are a few examples. I can't help with that today. I can help for 20 minutes, but not for the entire afternoon. I do want to talk about this, but not while we're shouting. I understand that you're upset. I'm still not changing my answer. I don't want to discuss someone who is not here. I care about you, but I cannot keep having the same conversation this way. Notice something? None of these sentences are cruel. They're not loud. They do not need to be a long explanation. A boundary is often just one honest sentence. And remember, your boundary does not become valid only after someone else approves it. And sometimes the longer you explain it, the less clear it becomes. Here's the part that many people miss. You may not need a bigger heart. You may need clearer words. You may not need to become more patient. You may need to stop promising what you cannot continue giving. And you may not need to confront every person who has disappointed you. Sometimes the healthiest response is to simply change your participation. Stop volunteering. Stop over-explaining. Stop trying to make someone understand your worth. Ask yourself, did this person truly cross a line, or did they just fail to guess what I never said? What part of this belongs to me? And what boundary would prevent the same pain from happening again? These questions are not about blaming yourself. They're about taking back your power. Because if your peace depends on everyone behaving perfectly, you will never feel safe. But if your peace comes from knowing how you will respond, you become steadier. If this idea feels familiar, write the word boundary in the comments. You don't need to explain the whole story, and certainly don't name anyone. Just write the word. Sometimes naming the lesson is the first small step toward living it. And if you found this helpful, I would truly appreciate it if you gave gentle taps to the like and subscribe buttons below. Tonight, don't try to fix every relationship in your life. Don't send 10 messages. Don't suddenly announce every disappointment you have ever carried. Just notice one moment where you said, "It's fine," when it was not fine. Then ask yourself, what would honesty look like here? Maybe honesty means saying no. Maybe it means asking for help. Maybe it means expecting less from someone who has repeatedly shown you what they can give. And maybe it means forgiving yourself for not speaking sooner. You were not weak because you stayed quiet, but now you can learn a better way. You can remember without reliving. You can care without abandoning yourself. You can be kind without becoming invisible. And once you finally say the honest thing, another problem may appear. Your mind may begin asking, what if they become angry? What if they misunderstand me? What if I'm making the wrong decision? That's where we go next, because sometimes the hardest part is not setting the boundary, but learning how to live with the thoughts that come into your own mind after you set it. This video was the first in a 5-part series. In the next video, called Stop Fighting Your Thoughts, do this instead. We'll take a look at what the Stoics would say about the second guessing and feeling of guilt that often come up when you draw clear boundaries. Have you ever finally made a decision only to question it 5 minutes later? You said no, and you wondered if you were selfish. You walked away. Then you wondered if you gave up too quickly. You did what you should have done. You chose peace. But then your mind begins creating every possible reason to feel guilty. The titles of all 5 videos are in the description below. And remember, in all things and at all times, be a philosopher.